Hello everybody and welcome to our next interview in our Leading Virtual Team series. Today I'm really pleased to be interviewing John Evans from Enablis. Hi John, how are you?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Very good, Corinne. And yourself?
And I'm very well, thank you. And thanks very much for agreeing to be a part of the interview series. So before we jump into the questions, I might tell everybody a little bit about what you do at Enablis. So Enablis are a fast-growing managed IT provider focused on highly distributed organisations. So companies with over 8 sites, typically and between 200 and 1,500 employees. And they enable their customers to transition their businesses using IT and latest technology. They've had particular success in sectors that have this type of profile. So notably retailers, manufacturing, and the not-for-profit aged care service space, where they look after clients like the Benevolent Society, St Vincent de Paul, Bupa care homes, and youth off the street. So John, let's jump into the questions. So as I've just mentioned, you do provide technology solutions to highly distributed organisations. What do you find are the most common technology challenges faced by these highly distributed organisations?
Yeah, thanks, Corinne. I guess there's a natural profile we see when we talk to what we call HDOs, highly distributed organisations. And it's that a lot of these companies have either grown with a lot of legacy kit, and it could be that it's actually grown, they've got quite a different array of technology around the different sites, which creates a high level of complexity. The sheer fact that they have a lot of sites creates complexity in its own right, because, if you've got a 50-site sort of business and you've got 50 different bits of hardware around the edges, there's always going to be something that's going on that's going to be creating some issues with the technology, potentially failures, etc. So complexity is one very big piece of that. And I think what we usually find, and this is where we get engaged, is the IT teams will potentially be sort of more of a functional cost center to the business than seen as a real value center for the business. And that is because, people just go, right, well, we need our telephones to work. I want to plug my computer in and I want to be on the internet. And those are the sort of demands. And every now and again, when it breaks because something fails, then, they're looked at badly. What we're really seeing these days is a big part of trying to change that whole thing is for IT to be seen as a value center, for technology really to drive a lot of the benefits. And I think it's something that, the challenge is the question that you sort of put forward is that if you don't have a very standardized technology platform across your business and you have a lot of sites, you end up almost having, 50 different small businesses within one business, not one business with 50 sites. That's a colossal challenge that, the technology can have a significant advantage if it's done correctly and everyone has a standardized sort of process, standardized platform. And I think probably it's the ability to get those things in line, have a platform that allows you to have agility and flexibility to grow and change sites, to relocate without huge sort of management overheads and things like that. That I guess is something that we really major on when we deliver our managed service to clients.
Brilliant. And I have to agree, so many of the clients that I work with have legacy systems, or they're even within one organisation or even within one site, they're using a range of different tools to collaborate and communicate. And it does create complexity. It also creates a lot of confusion, I think. Yeah, so it sounds as though they need to have quite a change in philosophy as well as simplification.
Yeah, I think it is. And everyone's heard of the, cloud technology, but there are so many new technologies that are very well proven. A lot of people are deploying them very successfully that allow people, allow a company to actually make this transition without huge costs. It's probably more just having the courage to do it, and potentially having the IT team acknowledge that it's not going to threaten their job. It'll enhance their job. They'll become a value center, but it's just letting go of some of the legacy stuff and the stuff that quite a lot of people can be familiar with, and moving to the new technology. And I guess that's something that we do a lot with clients. We aren't a threat to IT teams. We're an extension of an IT team. And I think probably what we try and really do is we de-risk that technology migration because we offer it as a managed service with quite stringent SLA. So we own the delivery with our clients. So it's not something we say, listen, we'll a lot of technologies, rollouts can unfortunately not deliver on the outcomes that were expected of them. I think the way we're seeing it, we're very proud of the fact, which I think is why we've been successful, is that we do own the risk with the clients, and we will guarantee the outcome that was expected from that delivery to make sure it actually gets delivered to the business.
Okay, brilliant. So I think you've just segued really nicely, and I think covered off the next question that I was going to ask as well, which was, how are Enablis able to assist organisations to overcome these challenges? So was there anything else that you wanted to add in that regard?
Yeah, I think there's probably 2 or 3 points. I think that the way we help is slightly different in the marketplace, and we do have a strong belief in our business that we are a better alternative to a lot of the sort of traditional, potentially carriers and integrators, because of the ownership piece. So we are a managed service provider. Okay, so that for us, it means we do help manage the burden of the IT piece and the delivery of new technology, and that's significant because it's about delivering outcomes to a business. Really. So that's something we will take care of. We are a partner. We're not trying to win more than probably 10 clients a year, but 10 of the right type of clients. So we're very focused. And I think what actually happens is that we do de-risk that technology deployment. But we work very, very closely with our clients to make sure that we're not just putting in a sort of a product that might fit. We very much about tailor making the service to fit, exactly as it needs to be done. And again, I think I did mention it earlier, but the biggest thing I think is that we're not there to try and remove an IT team. Normally, with highly distributed businesses, IT is quite lean. They're very pressured to deliver with small numbers of resource, and and the management overhead is high. So I think really we are absolutely being an extension of that team, hopefully taking a lot of that management burden away, so that the very precious IT staff can do stuff that's more strategic, which drives the value. So I think that's really how I would say we work in a very, it's really a partnership. It's not a supplier relationship, it's a partnership that we try and aim to.
Okay, brilliant. And while you were speaking there, you made the comment that what you do is very tailor-made. You make sure that you do customise what you need to meet the client's needs. So I suppose my next question is, so how do you determine what the best need, or what the best outcome or best solution is for each client?
Yeah. Okay. So we've actually spent a lot of time over the last year, because the market has been changing. There's a lot of movement to cloud services. Technology is becoming a really, really large element of technology and deployment of technology. It's becoming very serious for everyone. I would say our engagement with clients is it's a long process. We typically engage for 6 to 12 months. And a lot of that is really understanding the business needs today and in the future, and aligning solutions to make sure that they address those sort of short-term and long-term needs. And that takes a lot of time. There's a lot of trust in these relationships too, I think. So we've got a very extensive portfolio now, across our range of technology, from all the data center through, data networks, all the different flavors you can think of, with collaboration tools, unified communications, all those sort of things. But we also have spent a lot of time understanding how we can help clients move to the cloud. Not everything, but we help them on the journey to the cloud. So not everyone's going to do it in the same way by any means, and there's certain things will be beneficial to move to the cloud, and certain things won't be. So we're very much focused on, sort of picking out the best technology that will happen. And again, that's going to be different for every client. Again, really understanding what their needs are and where they're trying to go in the future is a big part of that relationship and the sales process, really, which does take quite a considerable amount of time. But I think by the end of it, most of our clients, when they sign up with us, they understand that we've spent the time to really understand their business properly. And I think it is part of that partnership, relationship that forms with trust over a period of time that ends up, driving that ongoing relationship to be strong.
Yes, absolutely. I picked up on your comment about trust and totally agree that in any partnering arrangement, because a lot of the teams I work with, part of their organisation are partners, whether it's vendors or other providers that they're working together with. So, trust is just so important, isn't it? So I understand why you take that much time to really get to understand them, get to know them, to be able to tailor that. So what would be your top tips then for maximising productivity in highly distributed organisations?
Yeah, I think some of the largest gains we probably helped deliver for clients that may have been in a position where IT was, there's a lot of legacy fractured IT in the estate. Is one is, I mean, everyone has a data network generally between sites, but let's just say we would make sure that the platform and the highway for the data is suitably sized to allow the business to go forward, because obviously there's so many applications now going on data networks. It's important that you have the right type of data network that would allow applications to run to a high level. That's the foundations. It's no different to building a house. I'd say you get your foundations right, then everything else that goes on top of that will be fine. If you're trying to do that on a very poor foundation, then it's going to cause issues. The beautiful thing about bandwidth and stuff like that is it's come down immensely in cost over the last 3 years. So I think one of the big messages I normally have is that we do some very large technology refreshes for clients in a process of a review, and they generally will come out spending same or less money than they were prior, but they're getting significant technology renewal and benefits driven by all the stuff that we provide. So the data network is one part. Unified communications is something that is, for a highly distributed organization, having every single employee, whether they're at home, in the office, out on a device, an iPad, whatever it may be, using the same application, the same system that allows them to see presence and to instant message. That is probably the most significant, as a collaboration and operational benefit tool. Unified communications is absolute no-brainer.
Totally agree.
Why? A lot of these businesses probably have to spend a lot of time flying people around. There's so many hours wasted. And these days, I mean, obviously we're doing this interview via video conference, and it's perfect. Obviously, we didn't have to travel 5 or 6 hours each to get somewhere to do this. Technology is there now and able to allow that to happen seamlessly in a very simple way. And I think what has changed, video conferencing used to be something that you had to have an IT manager to set it up, and half the time it failed, and all this sort of stuff. It doesn't exist anymore. There is technology there that's very user friendly, not for IT departments, for end users to be able to use and manage, and it works very, very well. So I think that is one of those really big big areas of technology. And I think the ability for a company to get on the front foot with IT transformation, so that they can look at new applications or develop and bring in new applications to the business without big headaches, that just really allow all their users to be more productive, to give better customer service, to be more collaborative. And again, it's all there today. And the people who are doing really, really well, some of them being brand new entrants where they don't have great big legacy infrastructure to sort of try and manage through, or people who have taken the conscious decision to get on that transformation journey quickly, are the ones that are really, really accelerating and have a very big competitive advantage. And really that's what we're all about. We're trying to help people who maybe not in that position to get on that front foot with technology.
Brilliant. And it all does come down to competitive advantage, doesn't it? And so, yes, if you can, reduce your overhead, simplify your systems, etc. I know that so many of my clients do struggle with, technology that isn't quite doing what they need it to do, or as I mentioned earlier, the legacy systems or people across sites using different systems. So I think what you've shared with us today has been really, really useful for a lot of the people who will be watching this video. So thank you so much for your time, John. It's been a pleasure, and I've learned a huge amount this morning from the video, from the interview as well. Thank you.
Pleasure talking.
You as well. Thanks very much. Have a great day.
Thanks.